Hi, welcome to the Stibo Systems Studio. I'm Nils Peterson, SVP of Product Strategy, and I'm joined today by Mark Richard.
I'm the product director for the platform and software as a service and data as a service.
So Mark, you've been on the customer side and you implemented STEP, you said, back in 2008, 2009. What was the process of even getting a system up and running back then? And we'll compare that to today's world.
Obviously, the first step is that you have to have a system administrator, right? When we implemented STEP, we did not even have a full-time Linux administrator to be able to manage the environments. We had to put a distributed file system in place, which is something that was brand new to what we had available to us in our server architecture at the time. So obviously the upfront investment in salaries and the hardware just to be able to make it so that you have the ability to do the install, the base install, was a significant investment that then only continues, right, as you get into actually doing the solution design. You have a lot of maintenance and management of the software itself, applying the updates, etc. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, then transitioning to today, like cutting through all of that, you're essentially you sign and ready to drive. So cutting a lot of red tape out. You think now you're on the platform side and you're driving the roadmaps and making the choices, or really our customers are making the choices of what we're doing. What are the things that you're prioritizing and making it even faster and smoother for our customers to benefit from our platform?
Yeah, obviously it has been a major transformation, bringing our on-premise monolithic architecture into the cloud and launching software as a service as an offering. The investments just continue, right? We're pouring a lot of our energy and a lot of our resources into leveraging the cloud architecture in order to continue to enhance the reliability, the resiliency of the platform. So that means decomposing the entire architecture down into microservices and breaking the memory spaces up into multiple components so that they have some degree of fault tolerance. Even if there is a fault that occurs, they recover very quickly, etc. So we have a long roadmap ahead of us where we just continue to refine and build on the work that we've already started.
Okay, great. And you were attending our customer advisory board yesterday, and some of the conversation was about, as you said, transitioning from on-prem software to software as a service, and that's more than technology aspect of it. Do you have any thoughts, like are there any surprises or anything that you have seen? Or?
Well, I don't know if I would call it a surprise, but I think one of the encouraging things is how up to date customers remain when they're running on our SaaS platform. So the number of customers that are on the current version of the STEP platform or near to it are just eclipsing what it is that our customers would do when they're running on-prem. And I think mostly for the reasons mentioned before, right? You have to have a lot of salaried people that are running the infrastructure and managing the software updates, executing those test scenarios, and it's disruptive. It's difficult for the business to be able to put up with those disruptions. So it's very encouraging to see that when you're delivering software as a service, there's very small updates that are occurring on a very frequent basis. Our customers are finding it much more easy to just take those updates and basically receive software as a service offering.
Yeah, interesting, and I'm right on top of the numbers. We had our update 2 customers yesterday of latest releases out, and right as we were doing that, we had 200 customers on the latest 2 versions of our software, and we have the same software currently for on-premise and SaaS, and yet it was astounding to see that it was 200, exactly 200. It's like nobody believes round numbers, but this one was actually real. And 190 of those were on the cloud, and only 10 on-prem customers were.
Yeah, that's right. Our on-premise customers tend to stay behind in terms of version. Some of our on-premise customers have been customers for a long time, and therefore they may have some extensions that they've built into the platform. And so they've kind of tied their hands a little bit with their ability to move forward, whereas our customers that are coming on to SaaS, they're using the out-of-the-box functionality as the platform has matured. It's got all of the features and the functionality needed to get going. So we see a lot less customization taking place there, and generally it's a painless process, or at least more pain-free for customers to move from one update to the next. I'd be surprised, I'd be shocked really if, so yesterday was the latest update, another update was released yesterday.
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if we didn't have a lot of customer and partner environments that are already updated to that version.
Right. So I want to go back to extensions for a second again, because back when you were a customer, back when I was delivering solutions, every implementation started with, okay, what extensions were we going to develop compared to how things are today? If you want to.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the platform was quite a lot less mature, a decade or more ago, a decade and a half ago. So the integration capabilities, the interfaces were a little less refined. The workflow capabilities didn't exist. Yeah. So every time you went into a customer, one of the first questions you had to ask was, what are the business challenges that you're facing that we're going to have to do something about in order to make it so that the solution is able to accommodate that. These days, things have changed so dramatically. I mean, the power and functionality of the inbuilt APIs, your ability to create your own automation and just work around whatever problems. We have customers that put quite a lot of creativity in how it is they solve problems by combining the tool set as it is. That flexibility makes it so that generally people are extending the software quite a lot less.
Yeah. And it makes sense. So obviously today, it's the exception that if somebody have to write some extension, and I almost feel like, what are you trying to do? Because we feel like there's a miss that we need to cover for.
And we've been working on enhancement requests for so long now that the list of exceptions is growing exceedingly rare over time. So the integration capabilities of the platform are very, very powerful at this stage. The user interfaces are quite refined. Your ability to script and bring pieces together using scripts makes it so that the vast majority of the use cases we encounter just don't require any extension at all.
Right, and that also leads to like minimizing all that extra work that has to be done. Obviously, time to value is decreasing, and what we're also seeing customers having programs around, because it's not like you're implementing and now you're done. I feel like it's you're implementing, then you have a base, and then it's a matter of like, what do you then do?
Yeah, I mean, you're never done, right? I mean, it's true you get a lot more value a lot more rapidly if you don't have to invest in the hardware and the infrastructure. You basically just turn it on and you're ready to go. But of course, getting the solution in place is just the beginning. You get your value out of your MDM solution, but then you have to be able to effectively govern your master data over time. New business problems arise. You need to be able to identify and solve for those as they occur. Clearly have a very busy development environment. It's an ever-evolving solution that's undergoing change.
Yeah. And as we have shifted from mostly being like I think back in the day it was like probably PIM for e-commerce was the primary, and now shifting to not just PIM for the enterprise, but like MDM and the multi-domain and the aspects of that. You have any thoughts about the complexity of the organizational structures and how you manage that in a company, knowing that the increased complexity of the solutions that are being delivered with our platform?
Yeah, I mean, it's just exploded, right? In 2008, I couldn't conceive of a solution that had tens of millions or hundreds of millions of records. Now having the ability to have your product domain and your customer, your supplier domain in this basically the same solution or multiple solutions running within the same contained space is something that just wasn't feasible a couple of decades ago, but is now quite commonplace. A huge percentage of our customers are running multiple domains simultaneously.
One of the presentations you're making here at Connect is about the platform and the roadmap about the platform. What are some of the exciting things that our customers can look forward to that you will be talking about?
Well, I think there's a variety of focus areas that we're spending the majority of our resources on currently. That is, as mentioned, the cloud platform itself. So leveraging the distributed architecture in order to enhance the resiliency and the performance of the system as a whole. But we're also always focused on continuously expanding our data integration capabilities. Again, it's a Stibo Systems strategic objective to lessen the burden on customers when they're updating the system. So we have a lot of focus on features and streamlining processes that are related to taking an update so that it can truly be software delivered as a service. And of course, we're looking at expanding our data as a service product offering a little bit as well.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, subscribe to the Stibo Systems YouTube channel.